All right, we are live on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? I hope that you're all having a great day. This is a very special impromptu video that I'm doing live. I'm live streaming this first, and then it'll be available out here on YouTube, right here on GNA 2, Genuine Live Personal Development, once it is done. I'll be mentioning this throughout the show so people are aware that the live chat has been disabled for this stream. So no one will be able to chat while we're here live. The comments will be available during the replay, but they will be heavily and strongly moderated. And I've got a lot to talk about here on this New Year's Eve. And I'm going to try to get it done in about 30 to 45 minutes because I'm taking the rest of the day off to spend with my family and to really think about a lot of things going into the new year, which starts tomorrow. But before we get to that, let me first of all make sure that everything is rolling smoothly, like I always do. Check out the back end of YouTube. It looks like it's rolling well. And let me make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out. It looks like it has. And let me do a sound check. So no one will be able to chat while we're here live. The comments will be available during the replay, but they will be heavily and strongly moderated. And I've got a lot to talk about here. All right. Everything is rolling smoothly. First of all, I'd like to wish each and every one of you a very happy New Year's Eve and happy New Year's Day tomorrow. This is the only stream / piece of content that I will be doing today. Don and I will not be doing a special New Year's Eve live stream tonight. We're just going to enjoy that time with my family. And I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do any content tomorrow. I may do a walk at some point tomorrow here on GNA 2, Genuine Live Personal Development, but that's not guaranteed. Just, keep it locked here and subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications, and you'll know the moment I go live if I decide to go live tomorrow. But today, let me just share with you folks what the topic is that you see on the thumbnail and within the, title of the video. The topic is the defendant and his drama group are mass false flagging me, and the GNA needs to be a better example. One more time, the topic is the defendant and his drama group are mass false flagging me, and also many others I'm finding out. We'll get into that in a little bit. And the GNA needs to be a better example. So I want to start off again by saying, if you're just tuning in, the live chat has been disabled. If you're here live, you will be able to comment on the replay in the comments section, but the comments are going to be very strongly and heavily moderated. I want to start off by saying here today that I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed at the behavior of many people. Not just through the other groups of people that have been making vile content on us, not just through the group of the defendant. Everyone knows it's been around for a while. I have sued this person, this male on YouTube, that's made lots of content on me over the last 6 years, defamatory content. He's violated my copyright massively. He's commercially exploited me. I don't have to get into that. People know. If you're new here, there's a little synopsis there, and you can go back and watch some previous videos if you want to know more of the backstory. There's plenty of that if you want to watch previously here. But I'm not only disappointed at what he and his group have been doing, I'm disappointed at my supporters as well and the group of people that have supported me. And I want to be very clear that I'm not here to attack anyone. I'm not here to attack my own group of people that have been supportive. And many of them have not only been supportive by being here to consume the content, they've been financially supportive as well. And I want to make it very clear, sincerely from the bottom of my heart, I greatly appreciate that. I'm not going to be mentioning any names from my group. I'm going to be speaking about this in general, but I'm sure, people will be able to put two and two together and figure it out. And I hope they do figure it out, because I do love these people like family. But at the same time, I cannot sign off on some of the things these people are saying during my live stream chats. I absolutely can't sign off on that. I won't sign off on that. It is not who I am. It does not represent or depict the GNA properly at all. It doesn't. And it really breaks my heart that I have to come out and do a stream like this to even correct the record, not only with what's coming from the other side, the defendant and his group of people, with the attacks and the hatred, the defamation, and all that stuff, right? But I have to also correct the record with my own group of people. And again, I'm not here to shame anyone. I'm not here to attack anyone. I'm not even going to mention anyone by name. And if anyone takes offense to this, even from my own group, me making a public statement saying how even the behavior of people within my own group are affecting me, if any one of you get offended by that, then it speaks to me in different ways. It will speak to me in different ways because, I'm here to run a positive, inspirational, motivational organization to help people better their lives personally and professionally. And when people that are moderators on my channel that can bypass my block words list, bypass those words, put them out there, and I understand why they're saying what they're saying. Do I agree with everything that some of my moderators are saying in my chats during my live streams? Absolutely not. I don't. Do I see everything? No. But I went back. And by the way, the stream from the studio that I did yesterday has been removed from YouTube and it's been re-uploaded to Rumble. And that is because I went back and I actually looked at all the comments. And the defendant and his group, they mass flagged that stream. They're so publicly open about it. And they've been mass flagging a bunch of other things. I'll get to that in just a few. And all I did on my stream was correct the record in a cool, calm, and collected and professional way. I went back and saw the comments within my chat. And I've got to say, I'm extremely disappointed. Now, I understand the people in my chat have been affected, or they may feel like they've been harmed by the defendant and other people within his group. I understand that. I'm not here to take any of that away from you. But there's a right way to handle it and a wrong way to handle it. And I think what's happening right now is that many of us on our end here at the GNA are allowing our emotions to get the best of us. And we're reacting instead of responding. We're reacting instead of calmly responding and correcting the record. It's one thing as a moderator, especially if you're a moderator representing my channels, my organization, etc. It's one thing if you respond to correct a false statement, to correct the record of something that you have a difference of opinion on, no problem. It's another thing to constantly come into my chat and attack someone based on their looks, based on their weight, based on, other things that have nothing to do with what's actually going on. If you're unhappy or upset about what someone is saying about you, or it's not true, you have the right to stand up for yourself. Even if these people are insulting you, calling you names, or defaming your character or whatever, you have the right to stand up for yourself. What you don't have the right to do is fight fire with fire, because if you're reacting to them in the same ways they're reacting to you, you're no better than they are. And that's what's happening. And I hate that I even have to say this to people that I know have been very respectful to me. Excuse me. Have been very respectful to me, have been very generous to me, not only monetarily, but also being supportive. Again, I respect and I value that more than you know. But what my own group of people, not all of them, but many of them, what they don't understand is that whatever you say in my chat with a mod wrench, especially now that I am in a circuit civil case where I sued the defendant, right? Anything that you folks say or do directly affects me. And whether you realize it or not, when you're in this chat with a mod wrench, you are directly representing the GNA and you're representing me. I'm not a drama channel. I know many of you, even that support me over here, do YouTube as a hobby. I respect that. And a lot of people that do YouTube as a hobby, they don't care if their channels get stricken down. They'll just start a new channel and they'll circumvent and they'll keep coming back, right? And, you're not running a business, so you don't really have to worry. I mean, you should worry about your reputation, but a lot of people, even here on my end, they're not worried about their reputation, and they're not taking it seriously, in my opinion, or as serious as I am, because they're not running a business. They're either a contributor, a commenter, or they run a hobby channel, right? And I want to make it very clear that this is a business. And this is a business that I eventually want to at least partially turn into a nonprofit. And I can't move this business forward if people on my side here are behaving in ways, or at least you're coming off with what you're saying and behaving in ways that are no better than the people that are coming at us. You're fighting fire with fire. And when you fight fire with fire, the fire keeps on burning and it gets bigger and bigger and more out of control. All I've ever tried to do is fight fire with water by calmly correcting the record. Yes, I am talking about the defendant. I've talked about him a lot, and I'll talk about him whenever it's necessary. I don't feel the need to talk about him every day, but at least when I do it in a mature and respectful and professional way. And I do it in a way where I'm trying to pour water on the fire. I'm not trying to pour gasoline or more gas on the fire. And whether the people here on my end realize it or not, when you're letting these people from the other side get the best of you by what they're saying, you allow them to get to you emotionally to the point of where it charges you up. And then I go live, and then you come into my chat, and then you feel like that is your place to vent. That's not what the GNA is for, especially if you're a moderator representing myself and the GNA, an actual business. You see, I know, again, why the people here on my end that have reacted and have said some pretty harsh things to the other side. You've done that because they've done that to you, and you feel they've done it to you worse. And I agree with you. They have done it to all of us worse. Excuse me. I agree with you. But does that mean we have to react and respond to them in the same way? A lot of these people that have come at us have been terminated from multiple channels, including the defendant, for doing the same things that you folks are doing now in the chat, right? And I don't want to be a part of that. I'm not here to feed into things that are going to affect my channels. And it's not fair to me for my channels to potentially be at risk because of the behavior of moderators here on my channel through my chat. I'm not saying that you folks are wrong for responding. I understand why you're responding. And I understand that you feel massively wronged by the defendant and his group of people. You're right about that. But right now, look at it this way. This guy has nothing to lose. He's already circumventing. He has multiple channels. If he goes down on one channel, he'll come back on another. This is not a business for him. It's a hobby. And there's nothing more that he wants than for all of our channels to go down, and then he can throw a party and make tons of money doing that. Is that what you want to give him? Think about it. Think about it. Is that what you want to give him? Between the defendant's group and several people within my group, and I love all the people in my group, even the people that are letting their emotions get the best of them and saying things that they know they shouldn't be saying, right? Now, some of the things that are being said, are insults. Some of them are, reasonable statements. Other things, are things that some people feel happen, other people don't know if they happen or not. Like, I'm not here to judge anyone's speech or what they think is right or wrong. What I'm here to do and say is that if people are going to participate here at the GNA, and if our mission is all about professionalism and personal development, self-help, and uplifting and inspiring and motivating people and keeping it positive, and then you go yourselves, each one of you, and take what I just said and compare it to your comments from the stream yesterday. You can go to Rumble and see them. They're on the screen. And I think for the time being, I'm either going to have live chat turned off, or if I do a live chat through the studio, I'm just not going to record it on the screen because these people are going to keep flagging that stuff, right? So here's the thing. When you folks make those comments, whether you realize it or not, you're affecting my channel. You're not even realizing it, and that's why I have to do this, right? Now, again, I do understand why you're all reacting. Your reactions are warranted, right? But you have to also take into consideration that even if you or I think that what you're saying is safe from YouTube moderation and platform enforcement, ultimately, YouTube decides that. And I'm not going to put myself at risk over comments that could go either way, either get flagged down or bypass moderation. I'm not willing to take that chance. And I want to make that very clear. So again, I'm not saying that any of those comments that were made yesterday are technically enforceable, but they could be. They could be. It's the luck of the draw. We all know how YouTube moderation works. So why put ourselves individually and including the organization, why put ourselves and the organization at risk from platform enforcement? That's what the defendant wants. He wants us all to get stricken down and shut down so he can have a party and make tons of money doing it while we wait for these court hearings to happen that are months away. Why would you want to give him that? You folks want to react to him so badly, and you think when you're reacting to him in the chat that you're getting to him and you feel like you're making a difference. What you're technically doing is you're giving him what he wants. You're giving him exactly what he wants. You're giving him the reaction in a way to where he can spin and say, oh, these people are saying things about me that aren't true. These people are bullying me. These people are harassing me. You folks are giving him that. Now, I'm not saying what you're saying or doing is that, but it could be considered that possibly. I had no choice but to come out and do this here today because I'm not going to allow this type of behavior here anymore. I never allowed it in the first place. Okay? I overlooked some things. I don't see everything within my chat as I'm live. It's impossible for any creator to see every single chat message. But based on what I was seeing come through the pipeline through the other side and this massive false flagging effort that the defendant is now running through his entire group along with the other lady that he works closely with. Now, because of that, I'm going to come out and correct the record not only on his end, but my end as well. Here at the GNA, we have got to set a better example. We have got to set a better example. And at this point right now, I expect a better example from the moderators and from people that are a part of our executive team, etc. I expect a better example from everyone. I'm not saying that none of you haven't cared. I know you all care. I'm not saying that you folks haven't been supportive. I know you've been supportive. I'm not saying you folks haven't been generous. You've been very generous. I love all of that. That still doesn't give any of you a free pass to use my chat as a venting session because maybe you had a bad day. And then on top of that, you're seeing what the defendant is saying. And then you want to come out here in my chat when I go live and vent instead of represent. You can still get the same thing across in a different way. If the defendant does something way out of character, which he's famous for, in my opinion, then say, yeah, the defendant did this today. And this is not the type of behavior that is normal to me. Why can't we say that? Why can't we correct the record in that way? Why do we have to call him names? Why do we have to, accuse him of things that may or may not be true? Like, I'm not here to judge what anyone said. What I'm saying in general is, why not just calmly and professionally correct the record? Why can't we do that? Because if we don't do that, I can see I'm not agreeing with most things that group is saying on the other side. I hardly agree with anything that they say or do. But when it comes to how you folks are behaving in the chat, I can understand where they're coming from. And if I, who has been violated by this group more than any one of you combined, is saying that, then you have to understand there's a good reason for that. I can't move this organization forward and get professional people to trust me and trust us, to donate to us, to fund us, and to come here and support us if you folks in the chat with mod wrenches are going to continue behaving the way you're behaving. And again, I'm not saying that you don't care. I'm not saying that you're not supportive. You do care. You are supportive. And I appreciate you, and I value you, and I respect you. But I'm going to be very honest. A lot of the messages coming from many of my moderators are very unprofessional, are very immature. And are an improper representation of my vision here of the GNA and how I want it represented. If you folks were in my shoes and you worked as hard as I have worked to try to get this to where it's at today, I spent all of last year and the year before getting trademarks re-registered, getting copyright certificates, getting a fictitious business name, my DBA, Elias Melas, DBA, Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short. I got an LLC registered. I got my business license here in Redwood City. That took a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of money. I've put in a lot of time and effort into practically bulletproofing this business. So that way I can protect it and we can move forward in a positive way and grow this with more positive people. Now, one of the main reasons why we've struggled to reach a new audience is primarily because of what the defendant and other people in this group have done, and we're handling that in court. But the behavior of some of the moderators here and how they're saying things in the chat, that's not helping either. That's not helping. What that is doing is fueling the drama pipeline. And we're not a drama channel here. I'm not a drama channel. I've never been a drama channel. But even I, who despises pretty much almost everything that the defendant in his group has done towards me, even I can understand in this situation where he's coming from. And you folks are giving him exactly what he wants without even realizing what you're giving him. And I've sat back and watched this now for a while. And it's at the point right now at the end of the year where tomorrow's a brand new year. We're going to be starting fresh tomorrow. And anyone that wants to continue and be supportive is going to have to stop this behavior. If you want to continue to behave this way, then you can do that on your channels. And if me saying this offends anyone to the point of where they don't want to be supportive anymore, then that's on you. I really hope that doesn't happen, but I can't control people. If people want to go and talk smack about me on their channels and not be a part of this anymore because I want professionalism in my chat, I want no insulting, I want no hatred, I want just positivity. If you're going to get upset because I don't want drama here, I never did, and I don't want people to be attacked or hated upon, no matter how much they're coming at me, again, or how much they're coming at you folks too. Again, if we all keep feeding into this, like I'm not feeding into it, I'm correcting the record. I'm not insulting anyone. All I'm calling out is poor behavior. You folks can do the same thing without having to constantly say, in other words, for example purposes, that person is large. That person is large. Hey, Eli, do you agree that person is large? What does that have to do with self-help and personal development and professionalism and kindness and, being the better person? Again, when you fight fire with fire, the fire grows bigger and it gets worse, and then it gets out of control. I personally only want to work with people that fight fire with water and are here to help diffuse these situations instead of making them worse. We are at 34 minutes. I'm going to take a quick break right now, and then I'm going to come back for another 20, 30 minutes and talk about a few more things heading into the new year. Share a few things regarding what the defendant put out on his community wall. I'm not going to show it. I'm going to paraphrase it in my own words. Another thing that the defendant's friend that he works closely with or acts in concert with said yesterday, and where we're at today. And I'm just checking my email here, and yeah. Yep, no new emails. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay. Sorry, I had to get back to a text message real quick. It was important, but it's all good. So let me just go ahead and cue up some music here. I'm going to take a quick break and then come back. Let me see here. All right. Music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for a quick break, probably 5 to 7 minutes, and I'll see you all when we get back. right, we're back live. We are back live. Yeah. Excuse me. All right. We are just going to scratch it and get right back to it here. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Glad you could all join me here today. If you missed the first part of the show, make sure you go back and check out the replay. A lot of very important things have been mentioned, and it's important that everyone that's been supporting me hears this out and understands it crystal clear. Before we continue, I want to just make sure that everything is still rolling smoothly. We're in sync here. Give me 1 second here, please. Going to scratch it and get right back to it here. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. All right, so I guess approximately around the same time that I went live, the Defendant went live as well. And I went and I scrubbed through his stream during the break, and he is not using any of my content. So I can correct the record, or at least state what's going on here in a cool, calm, and professional way. And I'm going to say I believe that he now understands the severity of watch parties and massive copyright infringement using near full, copies or, near full rebroadcasts of my live streams as they're happening live for commercial monetization and stuff like that. If he doesn't use the content and he just talks about it, I mean, that's just him talking. Right? Now, he is going live at the same time as I'm going live because, in my opinion, that's going to help him. People are going to be coming here, then going there, and they're going to be watching both streams, either live or on the replay or a combination of both. And that's just a play he decided to do, in my opinion, because, I'm live. People are going to be engaged in the story, and they're going to also want to hear his side of the story as well. And I could get upset like I used to in the past. I'm not getting upset anymore. I'm handling this in court in a circuit civil case. And I'm also going to be filing, a federal copyright lawsuit as soon as my copyright certificates are approved and mailed out to me. But again, I'm not going to sit here and criticize him or attack him or anything. I have been very critical of him in the past, and the reason is because he's been very critical of me. And I said some things about him that weren't so nice, but that's because he also said some things that weren't so nice about me, and a lot of the stuff that he said about me is simply not true. But I scrubbed through parts of his stream. And I'm going to make a few comments here real quick on this. And if I need to respond further another time, I can do that another time. He basically called my company a sham company. And he stated that in a factual way. And I just Googled it. Is calling someone a sham company defamatory? Yes, calling a company a sham can be defamatory if the statement is a false assertion of fact, not opinion, that harms its reputation and causes financial damage, but courts often see such name-calling as mere opinion unless specific false facts are presented. And he's done that, in my opinion. Right? I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm just going to handle it in court. It's just going to be more for me to present to the court. But forget about the court situation, right? I can come here and calmly make a statement and say, it just seems like the defendant just cannot stop his harassment campaign on me, his defamation campaign on me, defamation for dollars, right? Hold on a second. I think Dawn went upstairs for a second, and the dogs are barking because they want to always be by her to protect her. So you're going to hear some dogs in the background. The Shure SM7B does a pretty good job of canceling out background noise, but they're pretty loud. I'm sure you can hear them. Oh well, all is well. But yeah, I mean, that's in my opinion, that's the defendant's, that's his game, that's his content, and then he likes to try to flip it and accuse me of things that happened many years ago. Accuse me of things regarding that I've said about his family and stuff like that. Things that have been discussed by him in the past. Things that have also been adjudicated in a previous stalking case that he tried to get a stalking order on me that was denied by the judge for insufficient evidence. And, he'll put out these claims. And I'm not saying that I didn't say certain things. Of course I did, right? But I said those things because of what he was saying about me, and then of the information that he put out. He put out information about his family. He had his family on video. Not several times, but a few times in the past years ago. He made the public aware of some of the things that happen within his family, some of the things that, happened, in the household during that time. He actually publicly put that out there. Excuse me. Give me a second here. Those things are all said and done with. They're from the past. Right? Now, there may have been a few times last year, earlier this year, where I may have overreacted and said some things because of what he was saying and doing, right? And, if I could go back with the strength and the knowledge that I have now, I probably wouldn't have said those things. Not because those things didn't happen, but because all it does is keeps on pouring fuel on the fire. And it just, keeps on adding fire to fire, which makes the fire burn stronger and out of control. Give me a second here. I'll share more about what I'm talking about right now regarding what the defendant is saying on his stream and other things that I just skimmed through his stream while he was live on my break. But I pretty much know exactly why he's doing the stream, in my opinion. I pretty much know what he's saying, same old stuff, right? And it really paints me in a bad light, right? He's trying to paint me in a bad light. He's not trying to even say, hey, look, hey, you have a legitimate business. In my opinion, if you want to grow it, do this. But instead of doing that, he calls it a sham business, right? He calls it a sham business and states it in a factual way. And my business is not a sham. Just because I don't have the right people here yet, right? Just because it hasn't made a whole lot of money doesn't make it a sham business. My intentions are not what he's trying to paint it to be in front of his audience. And again, that's for maybe theatrics, maybe YouTube optics, audience preservation, inciting donations. We all know that's how he's been. That's how he will always be, probably, right? With me, when it comes to the defendant here and his group of people, it's never been about attacks or insults. I overreacted, and I did insult him at times. He's insulted me many times. That doesn't mean I should have insulted him back. I allowed him to get to me. I allowed him to get the best of me years ago. And he's been using that against me over the years. And that's why, I've learned from that. I've become stronger. And I've tried to be a better person and a better creator. And I've also really tried to de-escalate this situation. And I'm going to continue to try to de-escalate it. But he keeps on pouring fuel on the fire. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, in his eyes, no matter how much I turn things around. Even if I started doing everything perfectly and started making a ton of money doing this and helping people, and we got more people here, he would still continue the same narrative. It's not going to change, right? Because that's just what he does, in my opinion. He made a community posting earlier today, about 7 hours ago. And I'm going to just paraphrase what he was stating. I did, like I said earlier, I believe I mentioned it earlier in the stream, I did remove the live stream from the studio I did here yesterday on GNA 2, Genuine Live Personal Development, and I did move it over to Rumble because of this. He's saying that I keep removing my content from YouTube and then, re-uploading it to Rumble. It's my right to do so. There's nothing against the law regarding that. There's no, terms of service violation or, there's nothing illegal about that. And by the way, you've done that many times. And so has the lady that you're good friends with, that's part of your group, that also does similar content with a similar audience, with the same audience. So I can sit here calmly, cleanly correct the record without having to insult him and say, hey, you and that other woman that you work with through your group, you're allowed to delete whatever you want whenever you want. And you folks have deleted a lot of stuff and re-uploaded all your stuff to Rumble. But apparently the same rules don't apply to me because I'm Elias Melas. And me doing the right thing or the wrong thing, or me just doing anything, me just living or breathing air, is wrong, in my opinion, in his eyes, right? And he's saying that YouTube is going to take enforcement on me regarding this at some point. He wrote this all in big, big caps, kind of like a Donald Trump posting. Or maybe he was trying to mock one of my past postings when, I used to write some triggering community postings, right? He's saying that they're going to track me and they're going to see my IP address. So he's talking in the same ways I've talked before. IP address, VPN subpoenas and all that stuff, right? That's hysterical. That's absolutely hysterical. And promoting, basically, he's saying that me promoting this on YouTube is to circumvent YouTube's reporting system. No, that's not why I did it. I did it because I want to avoid your false flagging campaign, sir. In my opinion, you have incited, you've gone publicly and stated your false flagging campaign. So has the lady acting in concert with you. And you both have said that, yeah, you're just going to flag a bunch of my, streams going back 3 years. And then he says, you're going to get 3 strikes, right? And then I'm going to be out, right? And he's forewarning me. And then he's laughing hysterically with a bunch of smiley, hysterically laughter emojis, right? And then he got on a bunch of his stock accounts and thumbed it up 33 times. Probably maybe, 25 of those are him, and maybe 7 or 8 of them are legit, in my opinion. And you see, this is the thing. The people in my chat, you're saying the same thing, but you're also insulting him and saying other things that really are irrelevant, because all we need to be doing, if we're even going to respond at all, is correct the record professionally and respectfully, right? And then in his own comment section, and let me just see something real quick here. He's saying that he flagged like the rest of my content going back to 3 years, and he said that he did it 12 times each. So is that the smartest thing to put out publicly, where you're the defendant in a circuit civil case where I'm the plaintiff, and then you're accusing me of spoliation of evidence and adverse inference, and we have a hearing for that in February? And so because I got a community guideline warning, which probably came from one of yours or the other lady's false flagging campaigns, in my opinion. So I put 200 videos to private to protect my channel from false flagging and harassing comments. And then today, you flat out publicly put out there on your main YouTube channel that you're false flagging me. Well, you say you're flagging me. You didn't mention the false thing, but it's a false flagging campaign because, in my opinion, you're triggered. You're just not happy with the way things are going. I mean, I even offered him the same exact evidence, and I'm going to give it to him anyway. I'm going to give him the evidence. I'm going to give him the evidence, and he's going to even have the evidence available even before that hearing. I already offered it to him by email. He denied it. He said, let's let the courts handle this, right? Because what he wanted, in my opinion, what he wanted was for me to keep those streams public so he can flag them all, falsely flag them all, and try to take my channel down, right? And I'm not saying that I violated the terms of service, but here's the thing. Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this show, there's a lot of gray area when it comes to a YouTube policy enforcer. There's a lot of gray area where something can go either way. Maybe one YouTube employee would consider that a violation while the other would just dismiss it, right? There's a lot of gray area. And look, he's pushed the gray area, and maybe there have been times where things that I've said or other people in my chat have said have pushed that gray area. But I'll come out here and publicly say that I, in a good faith way, have never, ever, ever done or said anything to intentionally violate the terms of service. And I firmly believe neither has any of my moderators or any of my audience. So there's a lot of gray area that can go either way, right? And he knows about that. So that's why I put those videos to private. I offered him the links, he denied them, right? And spoliation of evidence does not equate putting videos to private to protect your channel from false flagging and harassing comments, when the actual evidence still exists not only on YouTube servers on my channel privately, but also I have the exact backup copies that I can authenticate with screenshots from behind the scenes in YouTube Studio. And additionally, I'll say it again because I think he heard this, he actually made a filing saying that he knows these videos exist because he has the transcripts of all of them. So he has all the transcripts. He filed that with the court, that he has all the transcripts of these videos that I put to private. And he can verify through those transcripts, word for word, that it's the exact copy, right? And also, when I do submit the evidence proactively to the court before our hearing in February, I will also include what's called a sworn preservation statement, which is made under penalty of perjury, right? And additionally, at that point, I will let the judge know that on this day, the defendant made this posting, and he flat out said that he went and flagged all my videos over the last 3 years 12 times each, meaning from 12 different accounts. And then he's getting upset because I removed a piece of content from YouTube and uploaded it to Rumble because I didn't realize that some of the people in my chat were making some not so nice comments, and I did the right thing to prevent any potential platform enforcement and to, just do the right thing in general. I put the stream on Rumble for one reason, because I want him to be able to download it and have it as evidence. If it wasn't for this case, I didn't say anything wrong on that stream. My stream is clean, but the YouTube chat is still in that stream because I typically record the chat on screen. I would have probably not re-uploaded that if it wasn't for this case, or what I may have done is just blurred out the chat. I could have done that too. But I left it there because he has the right to the evidence. I'm not trying to conceal anything. Okay? But I'm also not going to take a chance when I didn't know how bad those comments were yesterday because, like I even said on my stream, I'm not paying attention to most of the chat. I was just running my show. So I noticed it, went live today, and basically I'm correcting the record on both sides. You know, sir, I'll say this. I have never, ever, ever. There was one time where I put out a video. I was really upset. I was triggered. And I told everyone to go and flag the poop out of you. Let's just use the friendly word. You know what I said, the S word, right? I was inexperienced back then. And yes, I was triggered. You were already doing to me and commercially exploiting me at a very high level back then. And I overreacted. And I've apologized for that since. And ever since that time, I've never encouraged anything like that. I overreacted. But what I can come out and say is that I've never, ever, ever, ever falsely flagged you. Anything that I flagged is within good reason. And I flag it one time because that's all it takes. And if you flag something so many times, like you said, from the same IP address from different accounts, I mean, if he even did that, maybe he's just saying that. But if you flag, let's say, 300 videos in a short amount of time, and each one of those videos you flag from 12 different accounts on the same IP address, even if it's a VPN, they can still see the information there. That's gonna raise some flags for mass flagging. Now, again, that's on him. He can do whatever he wants to do, right? I'm just saying, why go through such extreme? Why go through such extremes, sir, instead of just de-escalating the situation and trying to come up with a resolution and work this out with me? We can actually settle this out of court. We can do a settlement. You're not open to that, right? I'm not afraid of the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP hearing. I'm not. What I'm saying is that I've been trying to de-escalate this for years. And it doesn't matter how nice I am. You've kept it going because it's very profitable to you, right? And yes, my audience, my supporters and all that, yes, they've said some things that I probably wouldn't have said. And I'm not saying that the things they said were right or wrong. Maybe some were, maybe some weren't. But they were frustrated. And I've tried to tell everyone that's come across you that is who you are. You are an instigator. In my opinion, you're an instigator. And I've called you fake instigated drama. That's what you do. Right? And people I've talked to about this, I've talked to many people about this behind the scenes through live streams. I've told them it's just fake instigated drama. And the more you feed into it or you overreact to it, the more you're going to give him, right? I've tried to de-escalate this. I'm still willing to de-escalate this. I'm willing to settle this, right? But I also know how much harm this has caused me. Whether you feel it's caused me harm or not, it has caused me harm. And if you're going to try to flip it and say, well, your audience and your moderators are causing you more harm, they're affecting you. No, I think a judge is going to understand that based on what's come from your end at the level it's come, which is far greater than anything that we've done over here, people are going to react. And that's what my audience did and my moderators did. They reacted. And now I'm trying to say, hey, look, it's at the point right now where, in my opinion, the defendant is at a point where, in my opinion, I just think you're running out of options regarding where to go with the case and where to go with the YouTube content. So now, in my opinion, your next thing is to do the false flagging campaign, try to take us down, and if something does happen, then you're going to make content out of that. And you're going to gloat about it, and you're going to throw a party about it, right? This is just another piece of your content strategy. I'm trying to tell even people on my end, that's all it is, right? And when you do it through a false flagging thing, it comes off as more real-time type of drama, right? And maybe that's what it is to you. To me, it's ridiculous. To me, it's just, wow, I just can't believe someone would go this far. I just can't believe someone would keep going this far, especially as a defendant in a circuit civil case. I can't believe someone would go this far and just not de-escalate. I've been on a bit longer than I thought I would be. I think I'm going to take one more break right now and then come back and wrap everything up. Just want to go talk to Don for a second, and then I'll come back. We'll wrap it up, and I'll share with you folks, coming tomorrow, January 1st, 2026 is tomorrow. By the way, episode number 41 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast has been released earlier today on the other channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. Please check it out. We talked about some New Year's resolutions, and, Dawn was even we were talking about the fact that she's been sober now for over a year and how proud I am of her. I'm really, really proud of her. So check that out. The link to the main channel is a couple lines down in the description section. So let me cue up a little more music here. And take just one more break. Okay. All right. Music is all queued up. It's all set to go. I'm going to take about, another maybe 5 to 7 minute break or so, and we'll see you all on the flip side. All right. All right. We should be back live. We should be back live. We are back live. Yeah. Huh. Oh boy. There's so much on my mind, so much to say, and no one really has any idea how I'm feeling. Maybe my girlfriend does. I'm sure she does. Maybe a few other people, but no one understands what kind of an experience this has been for me on YouTube over the last 8+ years, and just the amount of craziness that's come from this one group. And it has made me stronger, and I have learned to deal with it better. And all I want to do now is help other people realize it and become stronger and learn to deal with it better. None of what I've said during the first part or the second part of the show, now we're in the third part, none of what I've said has been to scold anyone or to upset anyone. And I understand people have emotions. They're going to react. They're going to overreact. They're going to probably, some people on my end are probably going to feel attacked. I'm not here to attack anyone. I'm here to just say, hey, can we just not try to do things a little bit better? Is that too much to ask, to try to do things a little bit better? To try to be a little bit more positive with our comments? To try to, turn around this crazy world of outrage on the internet? This crazy world of outrage on the internet. This has been a very eye-opening year for me. It's been a very eye-opening year for Dawn as well. Dawn was telling me earlier that she's learned to deal with this. She's become a lot stronger. She's learned to not feed into the chaos. She's learned to just laugh it off. And if she's going to respond, she's going to respond in a respectful way, but get her point across, right? Now, do we slip at times in the heat of the moment and throw some insults and stuff? It happens to the best of us, but Dawn and I have really, really tried to de-escalate this whole situation. Not just with the defendant and his group of people, but with everyone on YouTube and everyone in this world. We're just trying to do our part to make this world a better place. We're trying to do our part to basically try to slow down or stop some of the crazy outrage on the internet. We've been watching Chris Cuomo on News Nation. He's the only other person on YouTube he's the only other person in the mainstream media. He's also on YouTube. The only other person besides me that's doing podcasting and also works as a journalist in the mainstream media, the only other person that's talking about this is Chris Cuomo. He's saying the amount of outrage on the internet is just insane. It's harming us. It's hurting us. It's not getting us anywhere. And all I'm trying to say is to the people over here at the GNA, please help us do better regarding this. Help us be the voice and the face of doing what we can to change this. Because in 2026, which is tomorrow, in 2026, which starts tomorrow, this is the way we're going. This is the way we're going. And people that want drama, you're in the wrong place. And even if you're not about the drama, but you're overreacting to drama, content and comments from other people that have been coming at us, coming at me, coming at Dawn, coming at you. If you're not going to handle that better, and we're asking you to just please try to handle it better. if you're not going to be able to do that, we have to say that that's not the proper look for this organization. That's not proper for this organization. And I've said many things I regret. I've done my part. I need to get better too. I feel that I've made a valid effort recently to get better. And all I'm asking is for people to try to get better. We have to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. If we keep fueling the outrage, there's going to be more outrage. Then there's no point to this organization if we keep fueling the outrage. That's all I'm saying. We're not going to get anywhere. And all we're going to be doing is solidifying that the other side is right and we're wrong. I'm not saying that they're right and we're wrong, but if we keep on doing things where even the average, everyday, normal person would see it as we're wrong, then what do you think they're going to think on that side? Why give them that? Why give them that? If we cut that off, we cut off their oxygen. Eventually, they're going to fade away. You see, I can sit here and do my part and not feed in the drama. I can calmly correct the record, which I have. I'll keep doing that when I have to or when I feel it's necessary, right? But even if I stop, and I've stopped with the insults, I've stopped with feeding in the drama. Even if I stop and other people in the organization don't stop, it's the same thing as me not stopping. I am responsible. I'm responsible for the organization. I'm responsible. Now, I'm not saying that I'm legally responsible for all these things, but I'm responsible for the organization. If people make comments, that's on them. If people make defamatory comments in my chat and I don't see them, if I see them, I'll remove them. If I don't see them, then I don't see them. I can't be responsible for something I don't see. Right? But in essence, I'm responsible for the moderators and as much moderation as possible in the chat. And I'm asking for people that want to work with us and support us and see this move forward and grow in a positive way to help us become more responsible. I want to thank everyone that's here. There's 39 people here. There were a few more people here earlier. Thank you for that. And I know there are some people here from the other side that don't like me and just want to hear what I have to say. I understand that. Hey, God bless you too. God bless everyone. Happy New Year's Eve to all of you. I want you all to know I've never said I was a perfect person. I've never tried to be a perfect person. I've always said that I've made many mistakes and I've learned from my mistakes. But because of the environment that many of you from the other side that support the defendant, and it's your right to support whoever you want. You want to support him, no problem, right? But think about it. There are a lot of things that he said that is absolutely not true. I've never, ever embezzled, period. That never happened. And I think a lot of you know that never happened. And I think a lot of you also have heard me say that all I have to do is get my brother and the former owner of the business that sold the business years ago, get them to write an affidavit or get them to testify in court, and there's that. I mean, I can prove it like that. I think you folks know that this whole embezzlement story is a fabricated story. It's a fabricated story that was started years ago. And where the story started, okay, I've forgiven that person. That person apologized. And they said it was fake instigated drama and this and that. And I've moved on from it. But if other people are going to continue that story, that's on them. That's no longer, and it's not on the original person. I can forgive someone because they know how to de-escalate, right? Here's the thing. Respectfully speaking, the person that put out that video regarding that story has completely de-escalated, has not fed into it. And that's showing me good faith. Okay? The defendant has not shown me good faith. He has not de-escalated. He's kept on amplifying it as his content. And I'm not asking any of you to switch sides and support me. I'm not asking you folks for anything, but you're here watching because you're curious about what I'm going to say. And whether you like me or not, or you're indifferent, the truth is the truth. And I think you all know that never happened. And I think you all know that was fabricated. And now because the defendant is being sued, one of the causes of action is defamation. And because he said that, now he's trying to find a way to justify it as, that's something I shared with someone else years ago. I never said anything like that. That never happened. Again, like I said, I could have my brother and the former owner of the business testify to that it never happened. Why would I tell someone a story that I did something that never happened that can be corroborated by the former owner of the business and my brother that was working there at the time and other employees that I knew there? Like, this is the thing I'm trying to tell you folks, right? That never happened. And either you folks are continuing to believe that, or you know it's not true, and your hatred for me is basically saying, well, we don't care if it's true or not. We just care about going along with the agenda of poking fun at Eli or just, painting Eli in a bad light, right? Those are the only two logical things that make sense. I'm not insulting anyone. I'm not calling anyone names. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. What I'm saying is that logically, those are the only two things that make sense. And what I'm saying is, to each and every one of you, if you want to continue going into 2026 and believing that, or let's say you don't believe it, which I don't think most of you, or I think most of you don't believe it, at least not anymore, right? Are you going to go into 2026 just continuing to play it off like it's true because it's entertaining to you and it gives you somewhere to go and be a part of, the defendant's stream when he's talking about things like this? That's all I'm saying, right? And a lot of other things that have been said about me, primarily by the defendant, are not true. Or they're highly exaggerated or taken out of context, because That's what you folks want. You folks want the cringy, defamatory Eli content. You want content that paints Eli in a negative light, right? And again, if you're going to go into 2026 and your mindset's going to be, well, this is just going to continue on in 2026. We've got, the spoliation of evidence / adverse inference hearing coming up in February. Then in April, we've got the motion to dismiss we've got the motion to dismiss / anti-slap happening, right? Do you see this? Do you see how much content that the defendant can make around this? He probably will. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. That's on him. He has the right to make content on whatever he wants, as long as A, he's not defaming me, B, he's not violating my copyright. He can use small excerpts under fair use, right? He can use small excerpts under fair use. What he can't do is use full rebroadcasts or near full rebroadcasts while I'm live or even pre-recorded. That takes away from the original. That affects the marketplace for me, right? That affects my engagement, right? And ask yourselves this. Over the last few days, he stopped rebroadcasting me. He stopped using full or near full rebroadcasts of my content, whether they're done while I was live or pre-recorded, right? And all of a sudden, now he stopped. Now he stopped because he's probably looked into it and seen that, oh yeah, if Eli actually filed 3 copyright certificates with the U.S. Library of Congress, also known as the U.S. Copyright Office, and he files those within the first 90 days, which, I did those streams last week, and I filed those certificates a few days after I did those streams, well within the 90-day period, that automatically gives me statutory damage rights. So he's seeing that, and he's like, oh, okay, if I keep doing this, I'm going to further cement his case, whether he admits that publicly or not. All I'm saying is for you folks to do is, what I'm trying to say is do your own research. Look it up. Use ChatGPT, but feed ChatGPT the right information. If you feed ChatGPT the right information, it will give you the right answer. Use Google. Google has the AI built in now. Use Google AI. It'll give you the information. Research this on your own, right? Research this on your own, and then you'll see what you've been actively participating in. And I'm not looking to get anyone in that audience in trouble. What I'm trying to say is that, is this where you want to focus all or most of your free time on? Because I'm seeing the same people focusing their energy on this all day, every day. I'm seeing them in the comments sections all day, every day. And even if, some of you come back and say, oh, I respond every now and then. I'm out working or delivering or doing whatever, right? And then I'll just pop in every now and then. Well, you're making an effort to do it every day. You're invested into it, right? You've made it a part of your daily routine, right? What I'm saying is this worth a part of your daily routine when you know it's all horseshit, right? That's all it is, right? This all boils down to one man, in my opinion, and we'll find out in court soon, that has basically made me the target of his harassment, of his content, has made me the target of commercial exploitation, right? Has made me the target of unfair business or unfair competition, right? has made tons of money, including this past week, made close to $800 rebroadcasting me, and gloats about it on his community wall, which he's now going to have to answer in federal copyright court. Like what, in my opinion, what the defendant in essence has done, right? It's stealing, right? It is stealing. Basically using all my content while I'm live, playing a full stream while I'm live, taking away viewers, affecting me algorithmically, right? YouTube sees both streams and is more so recommending my content to his people on his stream than mine. That's unfair competition. That's not right. How can this sit right with you folks, where if the same thing was happening to you and you were trying to run a business, somebody was stealing from you? It's stealing because let me put it to you in this perspective, right? It would be like a bank robber going to rob a bank, and then the bank robber, then goes home and then calls the police and says, "Hello, police, I just robbed this bank. If you can find me, come and get me. I just robbed like $100,000, right?" In essence, what the defendant is doing is stealing from me with my content, making all that money while playing my entire content, right, live, while I'm live as well. And then going on his community wall and saying, "I made $700-800 this week." Do you understand how that comes off? Like, do you, look, I'm not trying to convince his audience to come here. This is probably not the right place for you. I mean, hey, look, if some of you, if the epiphany hits some of you and you want to turn things around and you do want to come here and become a better person, we will welcome you with open arms. I'm not expecting that. What I'm saying is that if you folks think that this is okay in any way, shape, or form, I have to then ask you, what if you were in my shoes? What if this was happening to you in the exact same ways? Or does it not matter to you because it's not happening to you and you get to enjoy what you folks like to call the shit show, right? Right? Give me a second. Let me make sure this is going through still. The epiphany hits some of you and you want to turn things around and you want to come here. ODN, I'm getting your messages from behind the scenes. I don't know if you're watching right now. I really hope that you don't take offense to any of this stream here. I really hope you don't. You said some very nice things behind the scenes. I'm not going to read what you wrote, but I respect what you said. And it sounds like you've heard what I've said so far, and it didn't offend you, and I'm really, really proud of you for that, if that's how you feel. I won't know until we talk later, but I appreciate that. So he posted a minute ago. Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. ODN sends me a message behind the scenes and he says that he's triggered right now. He's basically telling me to drop the R word, the R word for someone that's mentally challenged. He said, drop the R word case against him, and then maybe he'll change how he feels about me. Are you kidding me, sir? I would love to believe that because I have faith in people, right? But you have never, ever once shown me any sign of good faith. Why should I take this as a good faith effort? And if you're so confident that you're going to get sanctions on me in February for the spoliation of evidence hearing / adverse inference, and if you're so confident you're going to get this all thrown out in April at the motion to dismiss / anti-slap, then why would you even write something like this? This is New Year's Eve, sir. I'm here to correct the record and have a cool, calm, and collected stream and get people in the right mindset for the new year. And you're sitting there on New Year's Eve, in my opinion, getting triggered as heck, posting on your community wall after you just went live for 45 minutes, probably started around the same time as I did, right? And then you're calling me a disingenuous fraud? And you're saying that I'm trying to silence you with an injunction so I can then take that and grow my fake business? Like, wow. What you're showing me in real time here, sir, is the fact that you are incapable of de-escalating. You are incapable of de-escalating. And then you're saying that I made a big mistake because I sued a person that didn't even hate me? So let me get this straight. You're now saying that you didn't hate me, but you practically stole from me by commercially exploiting me. You defamed my character for dollars. You made up all this stuff about me. You still do. And now you're trying to say that you didn't hate me? So if you didn't hate me, then was this just a scheme to make money off my name because it was really easy to do so compared to anything else you've ever done? Sir, respectfully speaking, with no insults, just the truth, you sound like a big walking contradiction. You sound like a big walking contradiction. You tried to get me to go away, but I kept going. No, you came back and you did a stream on January 3rd, my burial. I went to Facebook to leave all of this. I was on Facebook during that time, and you decided to do a burial with a bunch of sexualized memes and caskets, and you made a lot of money doing that, and a bunch of other things happened on that stream. After you mentioned recently, several weeks ago, that you were talking about the 1 month period before that. So that stream, that burial stream happened January 3rd, 2025. You were talking about December of 2024. And you were saying recently, several weeks back, that I was being real nice to you. And then I sued you. I was trying to get you to de-escalate. I then went to Facebook, and then you did a burial, and then you made more money at my expense. I've tried many times to de-escalate with you. I've tried to get you to go away. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what I did, because you always come back to the sure thing with the Eli content when all else fails. Yeah, you've gone long periods in the past, several months, maybe half a year, without exploiting me commercially and defaming me for dollars and all that. But you always come back to it at least once or twice a year. And finally, I said, hey, enough is enough. So he's saying he's never going to stop responding until I drop the case. He calls it like a stupid case. In other words, I'm paraphrasing. He says he's going to use his freedom of speech in any way possible, and then I'll never get him to shut up. I'm not asking you to shut up, sir. You can talk about me all day, every day. You can say whatever you want to say about me as long as A, you don't defame my character, meaning make up things about me that are not true, and B, you don't violate my copyright. Besides that, sir, to your heart's content, you can talk about me all day, every day. Go live right now and talk about me while I'm live. That's up to you. And now he's saying that he lied about flagging my content. Of course you can flag whatever you want. Why would you lie about it? Because now that's performance bravado. So are you saying that you lie about things as your content? Because that's what you do. These are your own words. It's not possible to be defamatory when I'm paraphrasing what you're saying. I'm not going to read it exact because that's yours. But I'm saying in your own words, you're saying that you lied about flagging me just to get a reaction from the audience? Wow. Wow. ODN, I don't know what comments were flagged on my stream from yesterday, but I didn't take any chances. I took it down. I put it on Rumble. So I don't know. I don't know about that. Like, I'm being proactively protective. And I'm just asking everyone to just tone it down. Not just for platform enforcement, because the real meaning of the GNA is positivity, and there's nothing positive about attacking people or insulting them or overreacting, to them because of what they're doing to us. We all already know what he's done to us. So he's saying that if I want to keep going, if I do keep going, he may start flagging. Oh, and he's never settling. Okay, that's fine. That's not a big deal. You're not willing to de-escalate. Huh. Let me see here. Well, he's trying to say that, he didn't stop the simulcast because of me filing those certificates and having statutory damage rights. And he's saying that he rebroadcasted me as like a Christmas present for his supporters. And he's saying that he commented the entire way. Yeah, you did. You did for the most part. But that's still not fair use, because the amount you used is one of the four factors of fair use is the amount that you use, right? And how you transform the content, and, what are you transforming it towards? I'm going to go to court and say that this is commercial exploitation, even in the copyright case. And I'm also going to say that it's a defamation for dollars campaign. And I'll let the federal court judge know that we're also in a civil circuit case regarding that. But because copyright is only adjudicated in the federal court, that's why we're here at the same time, right? Fair use doesn't say you can just use my entire library of works in their entirety and just comment on them on a live stream watch party to emotionally enrage your audience to donate to you. I'll just say this, sir. Your entire community post is one big trigger of what you fed ChatGPT, and you didn't give it the entire information. And here's the thing. You can feed ChatGPT whatever you want. You can post whatever you want to your audience. You can think even in your head that what you're doing is considered fair use. And ultimately, we're both going to find out in the federal district court. I'm not joking. We're going to copyright court. I've already filed for the certificates. Yeah, what he didn't do is feed ChatGPT that he is rebroadcasting me while I'm live and rebroadcasting the entire live stream. So basically, he probably fed ChatGPT, am I allowed to, use someone else's content on a live stream as long as I make commentary? The answer will be yes. What he's not telling ChatGPT is that he's using an entire 1+ hour part or a piece of my content almost in its entirety while I'm live as a watch party. And he's inciting donations off of that. He's commercially exploiting it. And he's also defaming me, right? He's leaving out all the context to where ChatGPT would say, yeah, right? It's just ridiculous, man. Wow. I really need to wrap this up. We are at 2 hours and 8 minutes. I'm on a lot longer than I thought I would be. I'm not going to be walking today. Taking the rest of the day off to spend with family. Oh, by the way, when it comes to evidence that's beyond the statute of limitations, okay, you cannot ask for relief regarding anything beyond the 2-year defamatory statute of limitations. The cause of action of defamation statute of limitations. What you can do is use evidence even outside of the period you call time barred to show a pattern, right? Because apparently you don't want me to ask you about, was a particular person a part of your Discord group at this time? Did that same person, did you try to get them involved to send a false accusation of a serious crime to another channel, right? That's still publicly available on your BitChute, right? Here's the thing. I cannot ask for relief on that. That's beyond the statute of limitations, but I can use that as evidence to create a pattern. Perfectly legal. I think what you're concerned about, sir, is the embarrassment of having to answer that question. And I'm not trying to embarrass you, sir. I'm really not. What I'm trying to do is hold you accountable for what you've cost me. And I'm not even talking about financially, because I'm not even suing for that. What you have cost me emotionally and in time and my reputation, most importantly, what you've cost me is my reputation. So yeah, keep talking about me all day, every day, as long as A, you don't violate my copyright. B, you don't defame me. You want to go live like I do with my camera and my microphone, or my selfie stick and my iPhone on the walks? You want to do that and just talk about me all you want. Heck, you're even allowed to insult me. I'm not going to insult you because I've moved past all that. Yes, insults are protected speech. Insult me all you want. Defame me, different story. Violate my copyright, different story. Talk about me all day, every day. But see, here's the thing. No one's going to watch you unless you're rebroadcasting my content or you're defaming me. If you just go live and talk about me and just say, oh, okay, well, he's talking about this and he's talking about that, right? And not using any content, like, you know that model doesn't work for your audience, right? And by the way, sir, the protective order is not a gag order in any case, the circuit civil case and also the copyright case. That protective order would not be a gag order. You can still talk about me, you just can't defame me or violate my copyright. Bottom line. So am I really trying to silence your freedom of speech, sir? Or am I just trying to get you to stop violating my copyright and ruining my reputation by defaming me? So yeah, I mean, you wrote in your post and you're going to keep talking about me. Go right ahead. Like when have I ever said for you to not stop talking about me? I've only said to stop talking about me when you've been defaming me or violating my copyright. Do it legally and do it all you want. But I know, and you know, and your audience knows, and my audience knows that without the rebroadcasts and without the defamation stuff, it's not interesting enough for your audience, right? Because I'm not that I'm honestly, honest to God. I'll come out and say this. I'm not that interesting of a person. I'm just me. I'm just me, right? So I'm not that interesting of a person. So granted, I understand why you would have to make things up about me and violate my copyright, rebroadcast me, and then put the rainbow toys in my mouth. I can't even talk. The rainbow toys in my mouth, the brassieres, the MAGA hats. You've got to practically deface me. You got to practically always do something stupid involving my name, my likeness, and that's when these people come around. If you just talk about me talking about average everyday things like here, no one's going to watch, right? So here's the thing, sir. Even if you lose both cases, sir, you can still talk about me. You can do that right now. You just want to be able to continue the defamation for dollars campaign. You want to be able to continue to use full-length streams at your disposal. It's not how it works. Well, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I really hope people are not offended. I can't control how people feel, but what I have to do is what's right to move the organization forward. I've said nothing wrong here today. I've been very reasonable with what I've said. I've been fair to both sides, the other side and our side here, and it's made a lot of sense. "2026 is tomorrow. I want to wish all of you a very happy New Year's Day tomorrow. To my lovely lady Dawn, my mother, my brother, my aunt, my cousin, to all of Dawn's family, to all of the GNA executives, to all the GNA members here, too many to mention. Tonight, if you see this, if you're watching this live, or you watch this on the replay before you go out tonight, please, if you go out tonight or even tomorrow, please be safe. And if you drink, drink responsibly. And if you drink, please don't drive. Okay? We want to see as many of you, we want to see all of you come back for an amazing 2026 that's right around the corner. Got a lot of love. Thank you for your time. I appreciate all of you. I hope that what I said here makes sense. Oh, and by the way, to the Florida lady, she said that she was going to file another non-party filing in the case today. Well, I haven't received anything at this point. I still have nothing. All talk. Hot air, right? It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it, right? I'm not using your content. I'm not defaming you. You said you were going to do it. You didn't do it. And all I'm saying is that you said you're going to do it and you didn't do it. That's the truth. That speaks for itself. You said it on your stream. Already got it downloaded. So, I mean, hot air. Hot air. Nonsense. How much longer are you folks going to be a part of this, right? If you want to be a part of it because it makes you feel better and it entertains you, fine, I get it, but it's the same old thing. Do you not get bored and tired of the same old thing? Love you all. Got to go. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other. See you all probably tomorrow. Good night, everyone.